Good evening, everyone, and good evening to yourself, Gonzo. How are you doing?
I'm very well, very, very well. Thank you, sir. Hopefully, coming through crystal clear. You all right?
Yeah. I'm not too bad. Warm after the sunshine today. I'm hoping it sticks around for the weekend. I'm looking forward to the weekend. But saying that, weekends are more indoors for me now. What with the Bundesliga back, so last weekend I didn't venture out much. I sat inside watching a lot of German football, and I'm looking forward to this weekend again. So happy days. You're not such a fan,
Good
though.
man. No, I don't want to poo-poo everyone's enjoyment particularly. No, I didn't. I didn't particularly like what I saw, but you know me, Gio, I'm not the biggest watcher of football anyway. You know, that's not West Ham, so it was not surprising that I wasn't going to particularly get involved in it.
Anyway, we're going to whoosh past some. We did a draw in an earlier stream, but we had audio issues. This is a new one. But just to recap, we are giving away some prizes. Gonzo's giving away.
Body warmer, Hammers chat. Body warmer to one of our addict patrons. Only two ever in existence. Which one was it? Who got drawn out the bowl?
Remember, but I've got it safe and sound there. It's right there. It's fine.
It's right there.
Yeah, I've got it there. And then we've got a signed photo of Felipe Anderson, who's with Ryan Fredericks, and the photo of Felipe Anderson signing. But the big prize was this little package here from the 1964 Cup final. Little flag, little pennant, which is, I have to say, feels very delicate. You can tell it's original. It feels very delicate. Got a photo, a small photo, which has been signed by 5 players from the squad, which we know the players' names. Don't worry, we'll tell the winner who the players are. Programme, the most important part, arguably, the programme for the cup final as well. Really good condition, and even more delicate. I'm scared to take this out. Actually, is the rosette. Rosette from the Rev. You don't see many of them, do you?
Yes, I've not seen one all week, Joe. I've got to be honest with you.
So our patron is getting this sent to them in a post, so congratulations. Our plan is actually going forward, our plan is to do a giveaway maybe every 2 months on the channel.
Yep.
And every other month in between, we're going to buy something and we're going to keep it for Christmas time. Then at Christmas, we're going to have a monster giveaway. We're trying to get sort of unique prizes. We're I don't want to say fed up. Photos like Felipe Anderson don't interest us anymore. But so we're trying to get some better prizes, rarer prizes, if you like. So we're splashing the cash. So thank you to the patrons this year that's making it possible. And we've got a few things to talk about tonight, Gonzo. Season ticket refunds, project restart, bit of rumours, and some questions from our lovely viewers. Where would you like to start?
That's an action-packed show.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't want to promise that. But where would you like to start?
Actually, you're right. There's going to be no action at all. It's just going to be talking. If you're expecting action, you're watching the wrong thing.
Yes, something like that. Anyway,
we just basically sit down for an hour and talk. If you've not watched before,
yeah, and people tune in. I mean, it's quite amazing, really. But then again, Joe Rogan's just got a £100 million deal.
Has he?
Yeah, Joe Rogan's signed a $100 million deal with Spotify.
I mean, well, that's my favourite podcast. I've been watching it for years.
That's why I brought it up, because I thought you would have got the...
I just watch it. I always listen on YouTube. I think a couple of times I've actually downloaded it off the podcast, off the whatever it is, Podbeam, whatever. But I more or less just watch it on YouTube and listen to it, press play, and then do that.
I never really listened to him, to be honest, but I just seen it and thought, oh, okay, fair enough. So where do you want to start then? Refunds, that's the big one. Tonight we got an email. Some of us got an email. There's a lot of people saying they never got an email. I have to say, mine did go into like the promotions folder on Gmail. It did come through to my main inbox. Did you find your one all right?
Yeah, it's straight in on the normal inbox. It was right there, prominent. So I knew what it was. You could tell from the first line. So it was. I think if it is in your junk or your spam, then you'll find it easily enough.
Yeah, West Ham mail going to the spam folder. I mean, West Ham probably done that. We're going to tell people about refunds. Make sure they don't all get the email. We've got to hide this as much as possible so they don't claim the refunds. But maybe I'm a bit too sceptical. But good news, though. Good news. You can have a pro rata cash refund, or you can have a bit of money off next season's season ticket.
I'm not sure how good news it is, Gio. I think we've been quite kind on the club To be perfectly honest with you, and we, not because we were doing them any favours, as you know, when I did the video about the letter that went out to all their members of staff, it was really good, really classy. I think they've conducted themselves certainly better than a lot of clubs throughout this. But I did two things that struck me on this. Number one, I felt it was late. It's not. There's no new information available now that we didn't know a month ago. It's not some surprise. They could have done this back then. If the reason is that they were waiting to see what happened, well, what's happened is exactly what we expected to happen. There is no football for the remainder of the season. We're not getting into the stadium to watch it. I would have liked, ideally, for them to, and I know they've. I mean, you're going to correct me on this in a minute, as I know you will. But obviously, I knew you were going to ask me this question, so obviously, I thought what I was going to have a talk about. I don't like the pro rata. Sorry, I like the pro rata thing. What I don't like is the money off next season's season ticket. I just think just credit everybody. Confirm details, credit the money back to everybody's account. Now I know you've got the choice, and I'm glad it was cleared up, which obviously you'll clear up in a second. But it was made to sound as if you might lose your season ticket if you choose to take your money back. And they've had a lot of time, because they could have done this a lot earlier. They have a lot of time to work on that statement. They have a lot of time to work out the wording of it. And it would have got a lot of people worried. And also, they're offering money off of something they don't know that they're going to be able to offer yet. I think we can all probably agree that next season is not going to start when it's meant to start. So how is next season going to look? Will it be a full season? Will half of us be allowed in? I think, as I say, I think it's pretty much all agreed. I mean, we can all agree that 60,000 people are not going to be able to get into that stadium for the start of next season. So what's the money off?
It says at the foot of the email, there's two conditions. A, we're in the Premier League, so it's very much, if we get relegated, I don't know what happens then, but I think it's about the money more than anything, that the price freeze is for the Premier League football. And two, next season's price is done pro rata for the amount of fixtures you attend. So they have basically, I think what they're going to do is hold your money, because it says you get the money until July 21 now. So I think what you do is you leave your money in your West Ham account and it stays there until they've got the green light to sell that season ticket. That might be September, that might be October, it might be February. They might not even get to sell it, and therefore it's still there in July. In a year's time, your cash with the club is still intact. It's still there.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think they just should have given the money back and said, don't worry. Almost worded it like they worded their letter to staff. Don't worry about it. It's cool. Here's your money back. When we go back, your season ticket's secure. We're going to give you 2 months to sort it out. It's also, I just feel it's a little bit like I know a lot of people this week got their government money this week, and that rebate of 140 quid, 200 quid, 300 quid, whatever it might have been, would have been really useful to people 3 weeks ago. I'm not saying it's not now, but they've done half the right thing a little bit late. If I had to nail my colours to the mast on this one.
I think they've done the right thing 100%, to be honest with you. There's not much of a change. I think you could argue little bits. I would have liked to see more of an incentive maybe to leave your money with a club, which is almost like a discount next season. Now, not how they've worded it. I actually thought, because I've been sort of saying quite often the club will refund people, because that's what I genuinely believed. So I was willing to sort of not take a punt, take a very educated guess, and I was 90% sure we were going to be offered our money back. But then, because I'd done that, as soon as this thing came out, I actually had 3 people message me before I even got to read the email. And they were saying they're threatening us. So I was like, what? Well, 2 said threatening and 1 said blackmail. They said they're blackmailing us, they're threatening us. I was thinking, who's threatening you? Why is everybody getting threatened all of a sudden? So when I read it, I thought, okay, this does sound bad when you read it. Because how you read it, you could word it as, you either take your money back, but you might not get to renew your season ticket, and your ticket price might go up, or you can leave your money with us and you will get your seat and we will not increase your price for next season. Now, since then, the club have come out and clarified that actually the prices are being frozen for everybody, and if you take a cash refund, you still get priority to renew your seat whenever that is in the summer. Now, what also they're not getting enough credit for, in my opinion, is says in that email, and it's just a small message, it doesn't go into too much detail, that is, we're going to personally contact every single person to talk about your refund, basically. What they're doing, I think, this is me guessing again, but this is how I read it. If you say to them, I've been furloughed, I can't make a decision, I want to renew, but I don't know if I'm going to have a job in 2 months. I think what they're going to say is, that's fine, we'll keep your seat for you. If football goes back in August and you can't afford it, that's okay, we'll sell your seat match by match. And then come September, when you can't afford it, ring us up and we'll charge you pro rata. We will hold your seat for a season. I think that's how I read it. That's what I hope to do, particularly for people with underlying health issues or the elderly. Because even if football does go back in September, you can't expect a 70-year-old to rock up at the first game. You've got to allow, but you can't take his seat off him. So I think you've got to allow him to not pay for that seat until he's okay, and you sell on a game by game basis until that 70-year-old gets in touch and said, I want to renew now, please. Then they get it on a pro rata basis. That's how I'd like to see the club, and I hope they do that. And if so, then they deserve a lot of credit. Now, I could be reading too much into that, and they might not actually offer anything like that. Then I'm going to look a bit silly. But there was something in there that was suggested that they were going to be doing stuff on a one-to-one basis, which is a lot of work. 52,000 people, and there's a lot of different people. I'd imagine the majority are just going to say refund, please, or have the cash. But there's going to be a small number that says, well, I'm not really sure because of my situation. And I just hope that they work with them on a one-on-one and really ramp up the customer service here, because I think the customer service has been lacking the last couple of weeks. They've done everything right. They still have. There's just been no correspondence for the last 2 weeks. I had quite a few people message me about season tickets refund, and I messaged Jake, who's very, very open and very honest, and he basically said to me, there's an FAQ section on the website, and when I clicked on it, it says about the refund for the season ticket, it says more details to be issued. I thought, well, if everybody's asking the same question, surely it would imply that your frequently asked questions is not giving you the answer. And the response was, you have to ring up. But loads of people are ringing up with the same question. So if people are doing that, that's a signal that your communication is not good enough. But at the end of the day, the important decision is they did the right thing. And I think they've done that tonight, which is you can have a refund, or you can leave your cash with us and we'll give you a pro rata price as to whenever it is. What are you going to do? Do you know? Have you decided yet?
No, I don't know. But I mean, looking at it, it's. I don't think the club are going to keep everybody's money. I don't think there's a swindle going on. I don't think there's a swindle going on. I just think it's ambiguous at best. So you have to basically, they put the statement out, then they have to put a second statement out. You have to read something into it to imagine that they're going to do this and to offer some sort of ratcheted system where they sell it on a match by match basis. I think if it was me, I'd be saying, right, let's nail this down, let's make a decision. Then the first draft came back, I'd have it read again. I'd probably be turning around and saying, this is 4 paragraphs, can we make this 2 paragraphs? Let's get this out. Let's make it 2 paragraphs, and let's alleviate, because I know what you're saying about the frequently asked questions. A lot of people don't go and click on that stuff. I think we try and drive it home as simply as we can, and but you know what? Anyway, as I say, I don't want to dig them out overly for it, but this is today. I think they've done a lot of things right, but yeah, we've waited a little while for this, and it's not as good as it might have been. In terms of what am I going to do, I am one of those ones who doesn't know yet because my circumstances have changed. So I also don't feel the need to have to do it now because I have had my money from the government. So that's the other thing. It's not like I am desperate right this second for the 140 quid 3 weeks ago. Yes, as I said, that would have been really, really nice, but I'm not desperate for it now. I would be tempted to leave it there, but not because of anything the club say. But I am not confident there is going to be that football there, for the reason being, if they're going to start allowing people to gather in groups of 2 in the park, I would imagine the next thing is groups of 10 or so on and so forth. Well, if you've already seen that's the model, then they're not suddenly going to jump from 100 to 60,000. They're probably going to say, okay, 5,000 people can gather, which would be really good for non-league clubs and stuff like that. So it is going to be difficult, I don't know, to plan forward as to what's going to happen. So in terms of a future season ticket, I'm not entirely sure what we'd be buying into. It's tough. What about you?
I've got to leave it with them. because of what they've done. Actually, almost as not a reward. I think that's actually almost like a reward actually, because I think the club have done everything right since day one of all this that's been going on. Not non-football. I need to make this clear. I don't mean recruiting players or staff or the performances. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about from the Wolves game onwards, the ghost game that never happened. From then onwards, I think they've done everything right. They didn't furlough the staff. They were offering fans a cash refund. If they never offered cash to fans, I would have kicked off. I'd have been doing a video saying that this is a crime. I just said this is it. You know, I wouldn't renew next season. Do you know if they never offered fans a cash refund, I wouldn't have renewed next season. I was like, no, this is too far for me. Everybody's got a final nail in the coffin. Some have already got it. Football behind closed doors. That's a nail in a lot of people's coffin. There's a long-term viewer of ours and a good account on Twitter called Vinny. He's insisting. Football. If there's kicks a ball behind closed doors, he's not going back. That's him done with football. And he says if we get relegated, I'll go back. He says, but Premier League, no, I'm not going to a Premier League game again. If you play football without fans there, that's his final nail. My final nail would have been if they forced fans to have club cash and didn't offer actual money. That would have been my. I would have said no, that's too far for me. I'm done now. I'm not renewing. But they didn't. They've done the right thing, and so as a show of good faith, if you like, I'm going to leave my cash with them, and I'm going to put it towards next season ticket. I fully intend to renew, but I am different to a lot of people. If West Ham was on Saturday, I'd go. If I could, I would. I'd go. I am aware I'm in the minority here. When I say I'm in the minority, I'm in the vast minority here, probably in 10%, if that. But because of that, because of my mindset, I'm happy to renew. So whenever football does start up and I'm allowed in, I'm going to go. But also because if you are only allowed a crowd of 5,000, West Ham go, okay, we'll have that 5,000. I want to be in that 5,000.
Sure.
Or at the very least, I want to have a chance. So those with club cash, and then I assume you're going to buy your season tickets first, probably. You're going to be in the 30,000 people maybe, so you can have a 1 in 6 chance of going. There's not going to be any match tickets, is there, until they've got the full.
No. Oh, actually, here's a question. Do you know if they are they going to reimburse the Tottenham and Newcastle away tickets? Was that on there? Was it never discussed?
And if anyone had like tickets for Wolves at home, they're getting like refunded and stuff.
Sure.
So they're doing the right thing in my opinion. There's not much more they could have done in there. I think they could have worded a bit better, but there is I know you don't like a frequently asked questions thing, but there is a frequently asked document coming out which I think is going to clarify all this, and I think it's needed ASAP, quite frankly. But to give them credit, I text Jake, said, Jake, this message is all messed up, and he said, no, that's not what we're saying, we're not threatening people. I said, read it as a fan. Do not read it as a media person. And this is where, actually, this ties into one point I wanted to make. The OSB have pissed me off with this. They could have had an easy win here, the OSB. The OSB a month ago could have said, right, we're demanding the club refund fans. We're demanding it. They would have had today they would have said, done our job, thank you. They would have had an easy win, but they didn't. They said nothing. You're supposed to represent fans. And there's fans out there that have been furloughed, have lost their jobs, who have money tied up in West Ham, and they said nothing. I just thought if you're going to represent the fans, you should have been banging on Karen Brady's door every single day until today when the fans got their money back. Actually, they should still be banging on the door saying, when are you doing the transactions? When is the cash going into their account, please? Because in that email it says, once it's confirmed, football won't be... Oh, come on, we all know football's not going to be played by... There's always going to be a bit of a delay before we get our money. But the OSB should be pounding the door at the club. Because last week, Rusa and Hamish United both said, we've contacted the club asking where the refunds are. They can chalk tonight up as a win. They can say that's because of us. It wasn't. But that doesn't matter. It's politics. That's what you do. OSB have really annoyed me here. But the OSB should have had that statement before it went out. Said, here, West Ham fans, group of selected West Ham fans, they elected, read this please. And then they would have went back and said, you've worded this wrong. This sounds like a threat. This sounds like blackmail. You need to change that before you put that out. But they didn't, so they put it out, they got a load of blowback. So when I said to Jake, sounds like a threat, he immediately says, it's not a threat. No. Season ticket prices are frozen for everyone. Everyone gets their priority, even if you take cash. I said, but it doesn't say that. Quite the opposite. It sounds like the opposite. So the West Ham help account on Twitter have come out and clarified, which is fine, but if you've got to clarify something, it means you made a mistake originally.
Yeah, but also, not everyone, and I'm sure if it's on the West Ham Twitter, it's on the West Ham Facebook, but you know this from doing this, not everyone's got all those things. You know, not everybody Not everybody watches
No.
this stuff. Not a lot of people don't watch YouTube. A lot of people don't look at any, or they might have one West Ham account or something like that, but a website that they watch, and they sometimes they're not even aware that there any others exist. The amount of times I'll sit up on a train and go up there, and well, not anymore, I don't. And you'll sit next to somebody, and you start talking about West Ham, and then he might only go on West Ham till I die. That's all he does,
Yeah.
nothing else. And if it's not there, that's why the message is important. The other thing about the frequently asked questions is I think everyone's sick of frequently asked questions just from the last couple of months because we've all had to do it for our banks, for everything else, and you can't get through to anyone on the phone at the moment. They say please look at our frequently asked questions, and they never answer the question you want to really answer to. So hey, look, hey, anyway.
If
Okay.
anyone does have questions though that we've not answered, email us hamishchat@gmail.com and we'll do our utmost to get you the answer. I think I know the answer already. I think most of the questions you ask me I can't answer, but if I can't answer it, I'll go and find out for you and let you know. But the club should be doing this. But we always say that we're like an unofficial customer service for the club. So why stop now? So anyway, Project Restart. There's been a lot of chat about that. That's the main topic at the minute. And Troy Deeney refusing to go back. Two Watford staff and a Watford player test positive, a Burnley assistant manager and a other club which is currently unnamed as it stands, but we know it's not West Ham. West Ham are back in training now, groups of 5, 75-minute long sessions. They were training in pairs last week, it's now up to 5. Football is getting closer. 6 people tested positive out of 748 that was tested in Premier League. What's your thoughts on all of this? What are you thinking?
Well, the first thing was I saw the Premier League statement, and it said this was yesterday's statement, and it said people with test positive don't now automatically go and do 7 days in isolation. Most other things are doing 14. I thought, why are they doing 7? Well, that was a really weird thing in the statement, and to see that, I mean, it's no surprise, Gio. Of course, if anything, it just shows how rife it is, how many people. I wouldn't be surprised if all those 6 people didn't know they had it. Because if they were coughing and spluttering and all of that sort of thing, they probably wouldn't have gone in anyway. They probably would
Yeah.
have phoned the club and said, look, I can't come in. I'm ill. So I bet they were as surprised as anyone when they phoned them up. I said, by the way, you've got COVID-19. If I went, what? Hey, well, I'm fine. I'm fine. First of all, it made me wonder how many people have got it, how many people have had it, how many people have had it. I know you think you've had it, and so on and so forth. And the trouble is because you can't believe the official stuff. I don't believe a word. I don't mean that. I believe it's happened, right? I believe it's happening, and my wife works in the hospital. I understand. I understand it. I believe, but all the stuff that where it came from and how long it's been over here, everyone, it seemed like everyone I knew in December was coughing and spluttering. And everyone was saying, oh, really bad coughs. People were saying I've had a cough, I couldn't shift, I'm really struggling for breath, I'm really ill. Everyone was saying it. I hope I'm better before Christmas. How many people did I hear saying, I just hope I'm better before Christmas so I can taste my Christmas dinner? And then months afterwards, the lack of taste and smell. Well, hold on a second. But we're told it only came over in January. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing was over in November and December. Loads of people have had it. Loads of people have got it. So I am not surprised at all. But you've got that fine line then of well, they do have to isolate. It's a real tough one. It looks Project Restart. Forget the behind closed doors thing for a second. Project Restart looks good if they can complete all the fixtures and everybody has an equal complement of squads and nobody gets hurt. If nobody dies, all right. Project Restart is an absolute failure if somebody goes in and then passes it on to someone vulnerable because whatever the physio at Burnley or wherever it was at Burnley or whoever,
Assistant
whatever.
manager, yeah.
The assistant manager at Burnley, he got the symptoms, probably doesn't know he's perfectly fine. If he then passes it on to someone else who then dies, then Project Restart's got a massive, massive issue. Can they guarantee that won't happen? No, they can't guarantee that won't happen. So it will survive and fall based on that. I think the fact that they're doing 7 days isolation, not 14, is their
But they get
attempt.
tested again before they come back, though. He's not allowed back until he has a negative test.
Yeah, but I know 3 or 4 different other companies, including a hospital, who will turn around and they'll say it's 14 days before you do that. So clearly they're thinking we can do this in a restricted time frame, less than anybody else,
But if you have the
which
testing, though, if you
suggests
have the testing, does it matter how long you self isolate for? Because if his testing says
um
negative, then he's not got it.
not necessarily.
But you
The test is not 100%
no, I
foolproof.
know it's 70%, but
Yeah.
it's as close
Yeah.
to as they're gonna get, isn't it? The 14-day thing, and I
Yeah, but
imagine
I
is
must say,
because you're not going to get
it's still a
tested.
hell of a risk. But when my father-in-law went in,
But
his first
to
test was negative. It
play
actually turned out he
to
had
play
it
devil's advocate, that assistant manager was wandering around with it for God knows how long, a week maybe,
for
and he
sure.
didn't know he had it. So he's been passed it around to people willy nilly because he had no. It is confirmed he had no symptoms. Mariappa was the same Watford player.
Okay. Yeah.
He's also come out and said I didn't have any symptoms, and it's like mind blowing to think I had it because there was nothing wrong with me. So
Sure.
they've actually been walking around, going down to the shop or whatever. They could be in the park with their kids with it, passing it around. But now actually they've tested positive. You could argue it's safer because now they know that you stay indoors, please. Stay away from your parents. Stay away from anyone that's vulnerable. Stay away from Troy Deeney's child. And that's not meant to be as a joke. That's genuinely serious.
No, no, no,
Mariappa
no.
now knows he has it. Stay away from people. Whereas before he was wandering around with it, not knowing. That's more
No, no,
dangerous.
absolutely, and I think a lot of people are doing that. That being said, what they're asking players to do. So when I walk around the shop, I'm 2 meters away from somebody. I'm not touching
Yeah.
stuff. I'm sanitized. What I'm not doing is walking around the shop like that, where you're breathing out and it's all going everywhere. What they're asking people to do in the training environment and then in football is have a lot more contact than you would have in a shop. So I think the fear is because you're breathing, because you're just by basically exercising, because you're going to be eventually tackling and parrying and heading and contesting a football with somebody, you are going to be in far more close proximity than you are in a shop. So I think the fear is that if it gets a hold in football, it could then spread more. I mean, they are. It's always going to be a risk. At some point, they have to decide when they're going to start up and when they aren't going to start up, because this is going to be around
Well,
as far as we
yeah,
know for
I
a
can see
while.
I can see it from different angles. If I look as a football fan, I don't think it should come back until fans can be there. Simple as that. As a pure 100% as a football fan, I think to start again without fans is madness. The Bundesliga at the weekend, only one side won at home. The whole weekend, 9 games, only one home team won.
Oh,
That was
really?
Dortmund as well. It was the most one-sided game out this weekend. Now,
Yeah, I just the only one I
now
watched.
you
Yeah,
could argue that it's a skewed example because Mönchengladbach, Leverkusen, and Munich all played away. So you could argue, well, the best teams played away, so of course that's going to happen. But the point is, only one home team won. Home advantage has very much been removed. I know there's in Germany are playing at their home grounds as well. Just for those that don't know, Werder Bremen is still playing at Werder Bremen, so they've got everything bar the fans there. So it was a massive loss to an advantage already. So as a football fan, I wouldn't play without fans at all. But as if I remove that, I think of it as West Ham as a football club from a business perspective. I think they need to get back within reason, ASAP, but at the same time within a safety parameter. But I think the Premier League's now one of the safer places to work because of the amount of testing they're doing, the amount of care that's going in. If I've got a friend that's a postman. He generally gets fuming at the fact that football might not restart because he's been at work since day one. And he says in the
sure.
sorting office, he says there's no 2 meters. It's impossible. Everyone's on top of each other. Everyone's handing stuff to each other. He says it's impossible. He says, but like they've just got to get on with it, just as loads of other professions have. So when you speak about it to him, he gets really angry that people are getting tested twice a week. In theory, you're only going to work with people that have tested negative as well. So his argument is, and I completely understand this, it's as safe as it's possibly going to be until this is gone, which is we don't know when. It's come out now that the Premier League owe the broadcasters £36 million every week after the 19th of July. So it only works out at what, £1.5 million a club. It's not loads of money, but you add on another week and another week and another week, and all of a sudden it starts racking up. From a business point of view, from the football club, I can completely understand why they're rushing to get it back going. They're obviously watching Bundesliga like a hawk. Why wouldn't you? Because they're doing everything. They're going first. So you've now got something to go on. You've now got they played their first game of fixtures. I was impressed with how they played in terms of grappling, the German players. I thought in the box they were grappling, tackles were going in. I thought, okay, this, because I actually thought they'd be a bit standoffish week one. I thought they'd be a bit, I don't know about that. No, there was none of that. Bang, in they went. There was some players standoffish, but there's some players standoffish in normal circumstances anyway. It'd be like watching West Ham and seeing Manuel Lanzini not put a tackle. It's hardly surprising, is it? But if Snodgrass was standoffish, you think, okay, Snodgrass isn't right here. So Germany was a good blueprint to start with. I watched 5 of the games out of the 9. And I'll probably watch another 5 this weekend. But the thing is, when they did their initial testing, they had 10 tests positive. Premier League have had 6. So already we are starting on a slightly better ratio than the Bundesliga. And we're testing more people because we've got 20 clubs. They've only got 18. So we've tested more and had less positive cases. So we're now back to still no contact training though, which is obviously a good point to start. I think it's now just a case of you've got to play it day by day. Someone gets a test, out. And it's going to be the same in all workplaces now. If you're on a building site, 400 people, 6 of you test positive, the whole site don't shut down anymore. Those 6 get off. The other 394 of you get back to work. Keep going. If you have symptoms, off you go. But if you haven't got symptoms, keep going. Keep working, please. We have to get back to as close to normal as possible. But like you said, dare someone have even just a serious illness off the back of this. If let's just use Troy Deeney's child as an example here, because we know he has health issues. Should someone like Troy Deeney's child have to go to hospital because of it, then that's when it all blows up in their face. But
it'll be the worst football PR that you'll ever have if that's happened. And to be fair, I think Troy Deeney's been proved right, because he actually said that stuff before. Yes. The full story came out, and we knew he was worried about it anyway. I mean, and I totally sympathise with him. I think personally, all the footballers are going to be fine. I really do. I really do, because they're young, they're fit, they're healthy, and it appears not to be affecting those people. Here's the issue: I hear a lot of people who are saying just get back on track. This only affects people who have got ongoing health concerns or the elderly. Well, who doesn't know somebody that's elderly or has a health concern? Everyone watching this now will know someone that's either had a heart attack, has had cancer, has got something else, or someone elderly. Everybody knows somebody like that, and that's the worry of passing it on to them. They have to make a decision, but they just have to be honest about what decision they're making. The original statement about the public's health comes first, or everything, it's not true. What the statement is, we're trying to, exactly what you said, we're trying to do a balance between everybody remain as healthy as they can, making football as healthy as we can, and not getting into a point where football goes bankrupt. That's the truth, and it's almost the same. It almost mirrors what the country's doing as well, which is
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's normal.
We never went into the full lockdown that Spain or Italy did. We were always allowed out a little bit more than them and all the rest of it. What's the truth? The truth of the matter is, they knew there was going to be a lot of, I think it's something like 60 or 70,000 more dead than there would normally be at this time of year, once you take everything into account. What our government are probably doing is saying, okay, look, we're going to try and limit as many deaths as possible, but what we don't want to have is a 10-year recession afterwards. If they said that, I mean, it wouldn't be very. There's no way they should say that, but that's probably what they're trying to do. They're trying to steer it between fatalities and the country not going bankrupt. I think football's probably doing the same. This statement, they can't say that. It's tough. Look, there's no right or wrong answer. I do think, in terms of the football, as I understand it, is it right that the whole Watford team have said they're not going to train?
Some of them have. Some of the Watford players have, obviously, A, because of Troy Deeney, who's their captain, and B, because there's been 3 positive tests, but also C, because it's something I never really considered when I've done these videos. Someone made a good comment in one of them, which was we have to consider the coloured players, and Watford have coloured players. Mariappa has got it. He's a dark coloured player. Sar, Decore, that they have a lot of coloured players, so it's understandable if they are. The thing is, what's important is I think every player decides for themselves. Every player says yay or nay themselves based on their own circumstances, because every single player is different here. Abraham, we know his dad's got asthma. Apparently, John McGinn's got asthma himself, which is extremely dangerous. Now, this is where I keep going round in circles, because I'm now back to the football fan in me saying, well, Villa can't play without John McGinn. Watford can't play without Troy Deeney. You cannot have two teams in the relegation battle, one without their main centre midfielder and one of them without their captain and main striker, because they're being forced out of the game because of a virus. This isn't an injury. This isn't law of averages. This is now, I don't want to say luck, but it almost is just down to luck as to which players in your team have issues in their family or not. Someone said to me Dortmund will do well during this, because they have a really young team, so the chances are they don't have any children. So they'll actually be okay to go back to football.
Because they're not going to be as worried about the implications.
Because they are like 19, 20, 21. So they'll actually be young, fit, healthy, with no dependence on them. So actually they're in a prime condition to go back and play football. But it's the ones that are a bit older, that have young children, like Aaron Caswell, who's told us repeatedly he doesn't want to go back. It's gonna worry, and this is where it's no longer a level playing field for me. I will actually have a sour taste in my mouth if West Ham stay up and Watford go down by a point or something. In between now and the end of the season, Watford have scored the fewest goals in the Premier League. I'd have a bit of a sour taste in that, because knowing that Troy Deeney possibly would have kept them up, but he wasn't able to play because his son is ill. That doesn't sit right with me. But there's no way of. The only way of getting around this is actually saying to Troy, you're almost going to have to leave your family home for 2 months. You're going to have to come out there, away from your son. You're going to have to go stay in a hotel. You're going to have to go stay with a teammate or something. You're going to have to leave your family. Don't see your son until you are okay. You've played your football, and you've had 2 weeks after that. Quarantine yourself, then you go. And that's a big ask for anyone, any human being.
Well, also, he's not mentally in the right frame of mind, because if you've looked at his statement, I mean, he's even worried about his clothes being contaminated and putting in his washing machine at home and then mixing with his. Now that is a man that's extremely worried. I heard the thing about him talking about the black and Asian players as well. It's easy for us to sit here as a couple of white fellas. We don't know, right? But if you heard that there was something that was if I heard there was something it's affecting white people, particularly, in their mid-40s or so, how would I be thinking? I'd be thinking, hold on a second, and there's a lot of black.
You'd be thinking, thank God I'm in my 50s.
That's true. That's true. But you're gonna. I mean, look, there's a lot of black footballers as well. Are they going to be worried more about it? Well, you'd think they will. Of course they will. And all of these things are going to play as mine. But I do think in the Watford one, I thought this for some time anyway. It's not football getting back on track per se that I disagree with. I've maintained from day one, if you are fit, if you are healthy, if you are someone like Callum Hudson-Odoi, and I made the point before he got caught doing naughty business, but I used Callum Hudson-Odoi because he'd had it and he was fine. Barely felt any symptoms, fine. If you are people like that who think, I've had it and I want to go back and play football, I'm ready. Look, clearly, Callum Hudson-Odoi, what's his name? Walker. Yeah. Carl Walker, Jack Grealish. Clearly, there's a number of players who don't really care, right? And are just happy to, they would play football, all right? If they want to go back, they want to do it, then absolutely fine. If you want to, the only way you can put it on is playing football behind closed doors and all the rest of it, fine, do all that. But please, let's not pretend it's a continuation of last season. It's not. It's different venues, possibly different rules, possibly different substitutions. I don't think it'll be
different venues, just to jump in. I think it'll be home and away.
Okay. Okay, well, whatever. But as you say, but no crowd, different rules, different squads. It's not and whatever 2 or 3 month gap between games. That's not the same tournament. That's a different tournament. If what they were going to say is we're going to put on it's like golf have done. Golf have done it. A lot of the top golfers have just gone back and played golf. They've not pretended that it's the Masters or this, that, or the other. What they've said is it's an exhibition game. If what they wanted to do was put on something like that to give us all entertainment so they could get back playing and offer the television companies something, might not be all their value, then fine. I think pretending that it's whatever, just match day 32 of the Premier League or whatever it might be, of the 2019-2020 season is is pushing it, and because I don't think it is the same tournament.
Yeah, the one thing that concerns me the most, actually, after watching German football, is there's a massive difference in fitness. I watched some teams; they looked like they'd just come back from a holiday, but other teams were a lot sharper, a lot quicker, and that concerned me a little bit because I thought, hang on a minute, because Wolves, in my opinion, going by what I've seen, Wolves are by far the most prepared team right now. They've been in training a little bit longer. Their players seem to have not heard anything from Wolves players. Their captain Connor Cody's tried to play the clever game, which is all I can sympathise with people, but almost we've just got to get on with it. And if that's the Wolves' mentality as a squad, I fear West Ham playing them on match day 1, actually. That's the team I'd last want to play. I really would not want to play Wolves. Anyone that's got Watford on match day 1 will be licking their lips thinking those boys are a week behind in training. We can get into them here. And this is where I've seen it in Germany. I saw teams that the team that was last back at training was Werder Bremen, got beat 4-1. Team second last back at training, Frankfurt, got beat 3-1. And the fitness, the fatigue showed in that game. It really did. You could tell. And that concerns me. West Ham are average. We've gone back as and when we're supposed to. I just feel Wolves have been a little bit further ahead. I think Palace mindset is a bit further ahead than other people. And I just feel this is no longer a level playing field now. You've got far too many things coming in. Availability of players, mindset of players, and it's just it's not the same Premier League. It's Premier League II now, but actually you've combined the two and someone's getting relegated. 3 teams are. And it makes me fear for West Ham, actually. But not just West Ham, Watford as well. And like I said, it would just... I wouldn't enjoy it, seeing Watford go down after everything that's gone on. I think it would just... Do you know how you were saying Liverpool's title, if they got handed it now, it would be tainted? Well, actually, I think teams staying up and teams going down, I think would be the opposite of that, whatever it is. It wouldn't sit well with me. I do think there needs to be a relegation, though, if we play to a finish. But it almost has to be done under full crowds. Troy Deeney's fit and raring to go up front and stuff. It has to be done as fair as possible. It's just not fair anymore on any team. But some have got more of a disadvantage than others now, and it's not through something they control. That's what annoys me. If West Ham get beat on match day 1 of a normal season because we're a bit slower than the team, that's our fault for not coming back early enough. We're not working hard enough in training. Friendlies were wrong. The manager got it wrong. You control that. That's your fault. But this, I'm not convinced. This is. There's something. I don't know. Anyway, anything more you want to say on that before we move on?
No, all I would say is there's no right or wrong answer to this.
No.
You know, you've said a ton of stuff. I've said a ton of stuff. What we're both saying is right to somebody. There will be, you know, and that's the thing. You're saying this can be a load of people that agree, a load of people that disagree, because some people are scared and some people aren't. Some people have known people who got sick. Some people haven't. Some people want to get back to work. Some people don't. Some people want to get on the train. Some people don't. And it's just there's no right or wrong answer.
Yeah, difficult. Anyway, some questions on Twitter. Tom Burrow, Tommy Gun 86 says top 5 non-West Ham players you've seen. Don't have to have seen them live. And he says we also need another Netflix show.
I don't know about top 5, Tom. Sorry, I don't know it was coming. Steven Gerrard, highly impressive. The swine, just really good. Cristiano Ronaldo was really good. I mean, one player that really sticks in my mind and always did was Matthew Le Tissier. Was really something else. That was a guy that could do what he wanted with the football, and really special player. I'm sure somebody else will come into it. I'll tell you, it was really impressive actually. First time I saw him, I think Chelsea might have beaten us 3-2. I was at Upton Park. I think it might have been John Terry's first season. He was playing alongside Desailly. I remember going there expecting Desailly to be what he was, which is a fantastic player, and just this lad, John Terry, was the best player. He might have even scored the winning goal. Can't remember. Yeah, he was a good player. Tony Adams, Roy Keane, lots, mate. Probably have done 5 of them. There you go.
Beckham, Henry, they're my 2 by far. Fabregas and Cazorla. I just loved watching both of them play football. Santi Cazorla is, I still argue to this day, is the best 2-foot player I've ever seen since being alive. He could strike a ball with both feet and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. He was just unbelievable. I think Cesc Fabregas is massively underrated. I seen a tweet today from Foot Accumulators on Twitter and it says, David Silva is the best Spaniard to ever boost the Premier League. No debate about it. And I thought, well, he's been here a bit longer. He's done it over a longer period, David Silva. But I would strongly put Cesc Fabregas above him. I used to think Fabregas was just such an incredible player. The vision in the passes. Santi Cazorla could hit the ball. And the other one, fifth one, I had someone on the tip of my tongue there, but I forgot who it was. I don't know. It's gone now. Oh well.
A bit harsh to come to a conclusion there. Pedro Obiang was Spanish, of course.
Prime Torres at Liverpool, they're giving him a run for his money. But
I'll tell you what, that season he was really unlucky that Ronaldo was in the league. That was a season Ronaldo scored 42 goals from the wing, but what a player he was, Torres, in that season. Unplayable, wonderful. He wins Player of the Year every. He was. I felt a bit sorry for him, really. To be fair.
Josiah Street says, "As Fornals just as crucial to our team as Rice."
No.
Not yet. He should be, but he's not. He's not. Simple as that. Forever Blowing Bubbles. If you could pick any former West Ham player to be our manager, who would you pick and why?
Right now, at its current situation, our first match back, I'd pick Harry Redknapp, because I think a massive part of it is about man management.
Did you see that clip? Did you see that clip about him and Alex Ferguson? He used to talk. He was speaking, and he said about how Jimmy Redknapp was speaking to him on his Sky Sports thing about Alex Ferguson. He said, "Oh, you used to hate Arsene Wenger, didn't you?" To his dad, obviously. He says, "Oh yeah, I didn't really get on with him." He says, "But he just wouldn't shake hands with that." He said after the game, he said, "You just blank here." He said, "I never understood it." He said, "Yeah, me and Alex Ferguson were like best mates." He said we'd be in the 2:00. We'd be in his office betting on the 2:15 horse race. He said we'd hand the team sheets in and go up to the office, open a glass of wine, we'd be betting on the horses. And then he says, but if I had Harry's team, I'd still be in there at 3:30 as well. He said if I had Alex's team, so I'd still be in the office at 3:30. Harry's such a character, isn't he? He's just funny. I don't know if I can say. Can I say Slaven Bilic? Is that cheating?
No, I've just cheated in that sense.
There's not many though.
He was a player for West Ham, Bilic. You could use it.
Have someone that's like is a manager. You can't. Like, Kevin Nolan's one a contender, but like you can't pick someone like I don't know Trevor Sinclair because he's one of my favourite players, but he's never done anything. He's not done anything. So
could be a terrible manager.
I don't know. So Slav, I'd bring back Slav. Andy Smith. Oh, he's putting us on the spot. I know there's a lot of variables. We've just discussed them. But if you were forced to give an answer, what division do you think West Ham will be in next season?
Premier League. Only because I think it's more likely that we are, because the Championship haven't decided what they're doing yet. It's highly likely that the Championship might not be able to get up and running again. If they can't, then everyone remains in the Premier League. So I think the odds are probably stacked in our favour with that one.
Because League Two are pushing for promotion and they're not finishing the season. League Two.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If they don't finish, it may well be that the Championship can't finish the season. If the Championship don't finish the season, they can't have anyone promoted.
That's what they're doing. That's what League Two are doing. League Two aren't finishing their season, but they're still promoting clubs.
Yeah, but it's the same company.
Yeah, but then
it's the EFL. It's the EFL. If the Championship, the English Football League, are not going to be able to say to the Premier League, who are basically 20 clubs, "Oh, we're not finishing our season, but you have to take them." Premier League just say no.
I think they will. I think there will be teams promoted. I think so, because that means no one gets relegated, and I don't think that's on the table. I don't think the Premier League will agree to that. No teams getting relegated. I think there's 3 teams going down. I'm going to say... See, I think Norwich are gone, regardless of anything. I think Villa's in deep trouble, especially if McGinn generally, if McGinn can't play.
Yeah.
I think Bournemouth are in trouble. Do you know something? I'm really 50-50 on it. Do you know... Okay, because to give Andy's question justice, I'm going to say we stay up just because all our players are back at training. If we had 1 or 2 players, depends who they are, obviously, but Sebastian Aller, for example, didn't turn up for training, I'd be predicting us to get relegated. This is a sign of togetherness in a way, this is around togetherness. Now, Watford players right now have to decide between their club and their captain. And Troy Deeney, I've always liked Troy Deeney, and I think he's a fantastic captain. Now, if he has that dressing room, Watford are in trouble because they're all going to stick with their captain. They're going to say, well, if our captain's not playing, I'm not playing. Simple as that. And that's bad for Watford. It could be a week till they get going again. And a week's a long time when you've only got 4 weeks to prepare. They lost.
And sad, Gio, because I think they've been the best club
Yes.
for all this. I think the way they've opened up their ground and helped let nurses stay there and done meals they've led the way. It'd be it would be they've been the classiest club throughout all this.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that one. Rebecca Becky, where would you like to see Mark Noble in the club once he stops playing?
Tea lady, little apron on, little dress, rollers in his hair.
Not sure I'd like that. Okay.
So no idea. A coach. Surely he works.
Do you know what?
Surely he does his badges and becomes a coach. I can't think. Does he? I don't know. Is he a trained physio? Can he give the players a good old rub down, little squeeze of the calf and all that? I don't know. Little cheeky reach around or something. I don't know.
I'm going to claim to invent a role here, but it's going to have a name. But I don't know what it's called. Okay, a director of football, but instead of dealing with transfers and players, you deal with staff. So I know you always say, "Oh, head of HR." Then no, not that. Like he goes out to find the best goalkeeper and coach, the best defensive coach, the best this coach. He goes out and assembles the backroom staff. Not all of it, because the manager has to bring in 1 or 2 players. But then if the manager leaves, your main core of coaches remain. So I'd have Mark Noble in charge of doing the backroom. A man that's been there and seen it all, knows what good coaching is. Mark will know what takes a good coach for the midfielder, defensive, whatever. I'd like him to go and find maybe 40-year-olds, young coaches.
Like me.
No, you're 50. But do you know what I mean? Is that making sense?
Well, not really. You've just made up a job. You've just cheated.
No, but I think that's what we need. You need to win games without spending money if you're at West Ham, because we can't afford to spend money. So you've got to win it cleverly, and that is by investing in the right coaches that are, like you spoke about, the Sky cycling team that gets an extra 1% here, 1% there.
Yeah.
Actually, I'd like Mark Noble being in charge of that and getting an extra 5% from each coach, and combined would do good. But also, he's involved in the under 23s or something, and basically says, right, okay, this coach is excelling at under 23 level. We're going to take him over to the first team now. Or if he's doing crap, he says, off you pop, son. Away you go. Get out of here. We only want the best for under 23s. I think our coaching needs to be structured. I mean, look at the shambles we had when Pellegrini left. Moyes come in with him, one guy. What about 3 coaches for a Premier League club for about a month? It's not good enough. So Mark Noble in to lead the coaches. Sophia, also that means Mark Noble can't be sacked, really. Can't really sack him, can you? He's untouchable, so I don't want him as manager, because what happens if he just rubbish? It completely taints what he's done.
Yeah, that is true.
15 years of being a footballer gone in a season. I don't want to see that.
No. First team coach would do, mate.
Sophie Ann, would you have Ngakia as our first choice right back next season?
No.
No, me neither. Jazza, do you see many departures from the Bundesliga this transfer window since the scouts have got nothing else to watch?
No, I just don't know. The dust has not settled on the money yet. I mean, you've alluded to it earlier. I mean, the Premier League clubs are worried about how much money they're going to have to give back, about what their rebate's going to be. I can't imagine I'm not saying any, but I can't imagine there's very many clubs at all who are sat there thinking, "Oh, that's a good player. I don't mind spending 30 million on him." I can't see it happening. I almost think it's the last thing. I would imagine the vast majority of clubs are waiting for the transfer window so as they can offload somebody to get some money in. I think buying players is probably very low down on the list of most clubs, and I think if you are buying them, you possibly ain't buying them from the Bundesliga.
I think they will be watching the Bundesliga at least, because for that reason there's nothing else to watch. And actually, I think if you see a player out there that has got the right attitude and stuff, and given the circumstances, it's horrible, right? But you're going to have to consider how players react to this virus now in case it crops up again
Yeah.
next year. So if a player is refusing to play in Germany, you're not going to go sign him, are you? You're just not. Why would you want a player that's going to down tools? It's really harsh because you're now ignoring a player's ability because of the fact he doesn't want to play when there's a deadly virus going around. But that's something you're just going to have to consider now. So I think they'll be watching Bundesliga. I think I've always said this to you. I think there's really good value in Germany. It's much better than the Premier League. For value for money, you can go over there. I've seen something interesting actually. I've seen the Dutch league. It's the whole of Holland football. There's only about 2 professional clubs in the second division, so it doesn't really count. But the average footballer in Holland earns about 40,000 a year. It's not much, is it? It's not a normal person's wage. So, no, sorry. 40% earn 40,000 or less, but then the average salary is like $250,000 a year. So obviously the top earners are all right.
Sure.
Van Persie when he was there at the end of his years and stuff, but generally speaking, their wages are just really low. It's probably lower than Championship. Crazy. So the Bundesliga won't be too dissimilar. There'll be players out there on a really low wage, and now it's the summer. You've got to cut your wage bill, so you can almost offload a Yarmolenko, get someone in of compatible ability for half the wage. So
you ain't offloading Yarmolenko
I don't think so
anywhere.
Either. It's just an example, an ideal situation. Mikey John, if you could improve only one position when the window opens, which would it be and why? Forget about money for a second. Just one position. Which one?
Yeah, that's a difficult one.
Sub striker.
Maybe striker. Yeah,
Sub-striker.
striker's a good shout.
I know it's a really strange one, but I've really missed Chicharito this season.
Yeah, some of outright pace. I mean, pace. Whoever comes in would have to be quick. And Bowen's come in, and Bowen's not slow, but he's also not fast. Sorchek is not fast. He covers a lot of ground, and he's fit. I'll get another quick player in.
What's your best pizza topping? We always get food.
If I could only have one, I'll take it. We're not counting cheese. Cheese is on there already. Yeah.
You just don't know pizza. It's just no. Well,
cheese.
If you went into a pizza shop and said, "What do you want, sir?" What would you say? You can have 3 or 4 toppings.
Ham and mushroom.
Oh no.
And if they've got them with a Rokito pepper on, which is a hot, sweet pepper, very, very nice. When I come back from football, don't do that anymore, and I get off at my train station, and I'm drunk, and I stumble from the train station to home. I always pop in Domino's and get a little personal-sized ham and mushroom. A Hawaiian one, because when I'm drunk, I quite like the pineapple on the pizza. Your face. Yeah, I do, but I eat it at the end of my road before I get home, and I dispose of the carton. It doesn't matter how drunk I am. I know I ain't walking into the house with the pizza, because just in case anyone tries to nick it.
Your missus is in the live chat right now.
No, she ain't.
She is. Mrs. Gonzo's in the live chat. You've had it. She says, "What's he talking about?"
Are you joking or what?
I'm joking.
She started watching that Netflix. Oh, right, I was going to say, crikey.
No, you're safe.
It don't matter. Even if it was Rumble, it's not like I'm doing it anytime soon, is it?
Just to try and wind you up. Texas barbecue chicken for me. Oh, easy, delicious. I'm going to have one.
Do you have the barbecue sauce instead of tomato sauce? Oh, it's disgusting.
No. When next time you go to Domino's...
No, it's not even a pizza, technically. That's not a pizza.
Next time you go to Domino's, ask for Texas barbecue chicken.
No, I won't. I refuse.
You've got to have the cookies, right? Domino's cookies, you eat them.
On a pizza?
No, separately. Dessert. The cookies. Trust me, the cookies from Domino's are extremely nice. They're warm and melted.
Are they hot?
Yeah.
Are they hot?
And melted. Really soft and gooey.
I don't know about the barbecue sauce though. Instead of tomato, that's not a pizza. A pizza is the dough, the tomato, the cheese, and then your topping. You can't have barbecue sauce. It's not a hot dog.
Barbecue. Sam, do you think any West Ham players will refuse to train? Well, we already know the answer to that. They're all back, aren't they?
Are they? Okay, they are all back. Definitely.
I think
all
there's
back,
probably some hesitant, like Manzini, Balbuena, Anka as well. But I suppose right now it's easy because it's non-contact. So it's still classed as safe. What me and you could go do down the park if we wanted to. Play football, that is. Leave it out.
I think we should.
Yeah. But it's when they ramp it up to the next phase, whenever that is, which is contact, that it might start to get a little bit.
But that's where man management comes into it. Someone to put you at ease, someone to motivate you, stuff like that.
I think the whole thing is about being comfortable and confident. If you're in training for 2 weeks and no one in your squad's tested positive, whether you bring in a little bit of contact, actually, you'll be a bit more comfortable. You'll probably actually start doing contact before you realise it, before you're even allowed. Because you're bringing in a bit of ball work, you might just, hold the ball and throw it to someone and he'll catch it. Well, while you haven't touched him, you might as well have done. So I think you'll actually start to come into a little bit more without. It's like when you spoke about the shop analogy. You don't touch anyone, but you're picking up something about, God knows how many people have touched. Like, this is actually something I've not pissed me off about the shop. Whenever I go shop now, normally I go to the back in the chill section, check the date, and if it's not the date I like, it goes back and I keep rummaging. Yes. There's none of that. You only get one shot. So you've got to take it out. A couple of times I've come home and I've gone to cook and whatever it is has gone out of date the day before. I'm like, for goodness sake. But it's because you can't put it back now. You just got to take it. But the problem is not everybody does that. There will be people who think, I'm not having that one. I want this.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But at least nobody else has touched a pizza with the barbecue sauce on it.
Shut up. Doug's just put £5 into the live chat. Thank you, Doug. To say...
Exactly. Half a barbecue sauce pizza.
He says barbecue sauce on pizza is grounds for losing your season ticket. It's criminal.
Quite right, Doug. Quite right too.
I used to like Doug. Doug used to be one of my favourite subscribers.
Well, Doug is a sensible man.
Doug's obviously not tried barbecue pizza.
Doug knows not to try. He knows tomato and cheese on his pizza, not barbecue.
What's the best thing you've achieved during lockdown, says Benjamin. Live chat, we're coming to you in a couple of minutes. If you've got any questions, get them up and we'll come to you.
Best. Built a shed.
I thought you were going to say that.
What about you? What about you? Come on.
Computer.
Oh, well, no. Actually, you have done something fantastic. You just not told anyone.
What? I haven't done anything fantastic.
Sure.
Have I? What have I done? The only thing I can think of is buying...
Something charitable.
Oh, no, that's not really... That's just a hobby. It's just a hobby.
Fine.
It's just... it was something to do to fill the time, and then I ended up not having time to fill.
It was a very kind thing to do, and you did it for
but it was just... It was what I felt was right. Yeah, I felt it was the right thing to do. I'm going to have to say it now, because there's people in live chat now. Basically, long story short, when Boris done his very first lockdown thing, and then it was about, you could... I had 2 weeks off work, but at the time I didn't know it was only going to be 2 weeks. So I was off work, and then you could sign up for NHS volunteer. Now, up in Scotland, it's slightly different. You couldn't join NHS volunteer. You had to join the British Red Cross. So then I signed up for that. Then I went to help them out a little bit, and my very first day, I was back at work. I messed up a little bit, but then I was sort of guilt tripped into no one guilt tripped me. I just felt guilty, so I stuck around for quite a while. So I've been doing 12-hour shifts a day, and I'll be honest, I cannot cope, Gonzo. I'm far too old for it, so I've had to kick into touch, which I feel bad about.
You did a good stint, mate.
I feel bad about, but it was just taking its toll on me. There was one night I come in and sat down, I was sleeping, and within 2 minutes of just sitting on the sofa, I woke up at 3 a.m. and I thought, I can't do this anymore. I'm getting old.
Those poor kids with barbecue sauce in their sandwiches.
Like that. Anyway, but yes, the greatest thing I've achieved apart from that is probably buying my computer. Actually, I am not one for indulging on stuff because I don't have loads of disposable income. I live hand to mouth every month. I don't mind admitting that. But then because I'm not being going to London, it's saved me a lot of money, and it's scary how much money it saved me. It's actually made me realise.
And you've managed to have your curtains turned into a shirt, I see, with the extra money.
I don't like my t-shirt.
Sorry, I thought it was
on sale.
A pair of old slippers or something.
Mike Mineta like this paisley design. He loves a paisley design.
He's got shoes like that.
I only buy it because it was on 20% off at House of Fraser. I thought, I shall treat myself. Anyway, we've got some live questions. I've got some YouTube ones, but I'm going to miss these ones. Doug, is this a time we're lucky to have Moyes in charge with teams struggling with fitness going into their first match?
It's a good shout, Doug. Yeah, absolutely. He'll be hot on the fitness, and if what Geo says is true, which I'm no doubt it is about the Bundesliga. Fitness could be more important than technique for those first few games back.
Forever blowing bubbles. Apart from football, which three sports do you miss the most?
It's quite funny actually. I haven't had time for years to be able to watch a 5 day test match. And the one time I've got 5 days to sit and watch telly, it's not on. I would love to watch a bit of that. The boxing I've seen have missed quite a bit. I mean, the other thing that I do watch the equivalent match of the day of. I watch match of the day for football, whereas I will watch rugby union. I will watch Harlequins against Sale or something like that. So I've missed the rugby union not being on, but that's even more contact than football. So I doubt we'll have that for a while either.
Mike's in the live chat saying he does like my polo shirt. Thank you, Mike. I'm a fan. There's a
Of course
couple
he
of other
does.
people liking it as well. Thank you, Gonzo. John says he's really enjoying your forum videos. Keep it up. What's tomorrow's topic?
Tomorrow's topic is basically if we have a long time without football, will we discover other things and will we naturally gravitate back to it? Basically, will we find that the London Stadium, once everyone's allowed back, was just too big a ground for us?
Yeah. Forever blowing bubbles.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John.
Forever blowing bubbles. Apologies, I missed your question there. What sports am I missing? None. I don't. I only watch football, but I watch a lot of football. My football consumption is it's almost like a part-time job, but I enjoy it. I like to gamble on it. Charlie, oh, you should have seen my win at the weekend.
I was going to ask, actually, you had a bet, did you?
We won tonight, actually. We've won on the Belarus football tonight.
You won on the Belarus football.
We are coining it in the Belarus football recently.
Oh, okay. Are you still on? You got your little gamblers group still?
Yeah.
The old Gamblers Anonymous thing,
Gamblers
yeah?
Anonymous, that's it. I'm gonna send you this live on air so you can back me up, actually, so people think, oh, okay, he's not just fucking bluffing, he's actually won a little bit of dollar. This is my bets from Sunday. You'll be able to get it in a second. Nick's asking how the Bayern Leverkusen game was. It was all right. It was one-sided again. It was 2-1. Leverkusen were just too good. And then Charlie, what is the best chocolate?
Is Jerry St. Just a player or a team?
He's a player. That was for him to get booked, but the bet lost.
You won. You won the bet.
All the other ones I did. Look up and down the right side. It'll say returned.
Return, yeah, and then you got two. So there's two separate bets. Oh, you had a good one there. Two good ones.
Quite a few good ones, didn't there?
Oh, I see. Oh, not two. Sorry, I don't know what I'm looking at. Oh, crikey, you've. It's your new job, mate. That's your new job.
I've done all right.
Never mind the old laptop schmaptop.
Yeah.
That's what he says. Crikey, what are you going to be getting next?
And the best thing is I tweeted it all out as well. So what Gonzo's just read, I tweeted this out before the match. Kenny won about 800 quid. Noah, when will the barbers open? He needs a haircut. Mate, tell me about it. Look at this thing I've got going on, Noah. Jesus.
I don't think it looks bad, Gio. I don't think it. In fact, you've got rid of the little quiff, the little bit where you're starting to go bald, right?
Yeah,
with that
little
little
hairline's receding there, yeah.
Yeah. But a little bit in the middle with a little bit. I think it's pretty cool. Stop doing that. No, don't worry. Oh, look, don't worry.
I've gone the wrong way now.
I can't do it. I'd like to do it for you, but I can't. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. I'll stop touching it. Yeah, it's going long, but I've had long hair before, like Perlo style, so it's going to be going back to, I'm going to look like Perlo. I can play like Perlo as well.
Well, he looks good. I mean, you should keep it long. There you go.
Well, I'll put to a vote eventually. But yeah, it's just still another 2 months. There's a lot of growth to come yet. Nick.
But we can't help. We don't know. We don't know when the barbers are opening. Is the answer?
No, but I think there's probably some opening. If you were to ring all your barbers, one will take your call and one will take your money and give you a haircut. I'll tell you what, though, have you seen some of the players coming back in the Premier League? You can tell they've been adhering to the rules in lockdown. Ashley Young's got hair. I know he's in Italy now, but he's got hair. He's got hair. Firmino's got like a mini afro going on. Sadio Mane, his hairline literally stops like here.
I know how he feels.
So he's got a bit of fluff. He's got a bit of fluff on the back of his head. Someone called it a reverse R9 because he's really bald.
Oh yes, yeah. Well, I would call it a Neil Warnock.
Yeah, well, it's really bad.
His hair starts growing sort of past the horizon.
Nick, will Diangana play for us for the rest of the season? He can't. Surely he can't register players like that.
No, I don't. Mind if they're breaking every other rule.
Well, this is going to be the next thing, isn't it? Brighton are going to say, well, we'll have what's his name that's been at Leeds, Ben White. We'll have Ben White in our team, please. everybody's going to be recalling their youngsters who are no longer playing football and saying, well, we'll play them. I mean, you could argue, West Ham could probably make a valid point. Well, he's missed out on game time at West Brom because you're not continuing, EFL aren't continuing Championship, so he's missed out on game time, so we'll give him the game time. The only reason he's not here is because he's playing somewhere else. He's not playing there anymore, so technically he's our squad member now. But if you're allowed to register players that were injured, like Tom Heaton's prime example, Villa are allowed to use Tom Heaton, who was not registered for the second part of the season. Why can't we use Diangana?
I wonder if talk about hair, Diangana or anyone else that dyes their hair. You know, like he dyed it blonde. I wonder if he has not been to the barber, so now what he's got is like a blonde bit and then a dark bit there. Or who else dyes their hair? Anyone that dyes their hair? Are the roots showing? Is what I'm asking.
Possibly. I seen Jack Grealish's photo and his thing's going wild. He had a proper hairband. It wasn't even a hairband. It was a sweatband he had on to keep it back because it was proper flopping around his head and stuff.
Yeah, he's got a lot of hair anyway, hasn't he? To be fair,
you're going to tell the players that have been they've either got a missus as a hairdresser, which is unlikely probably in the Premier League, or they've not been a day into lockdown. They come out with fancy trims, they've got like go faster stripes in their eyebrows or something. You can tell they're the naughty ones. I almost say, can I have proof of where you've had your haircut, please, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. Carl Walker's been very good. He's not gone to the hairdressers, but his prostitute's a dab hand with a pair of clippers.
Oh dear. Noah, when are you guys going to do a big collab with other West Ham channels?
Shall we say?
Yeah, you can do, actually. I don't think he'll mind.
Well, we're going to play FIFA with Nicky.
Yes.
But Nicky's very good at. Actually, I don't want to. I hear he's very good.
I can assure you.
I'm not speaking out of school, am I? Do people know this? You said he won a tournament, right?
Yeah. He won a tournament, yeah.
Yeah. So it'd be me and Geo against Nicky because he's really good, and then that'll be So we're doing that. We're doing a West Ham fan TV against Hammers Chat football match. Or two. I think it's two actually. We're doing two, aren't we? So that'd be good fun.
Yeah, right. Okay. We're gonna go up to the pre-show questions and start wrapping this up. There's quite a few. David Avery, any truth in Cullen Holland being up for sale? I think everyone's up for sale. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think he might all be right
everyone's
there, mate.
Up for sale. Are we actively trying to sell him? Probably not. I don't see the point in selling them because their wages are so low. It's not really going to make a big difference. It'll be a short-term cash injection of £1 million or something, but it's not really beneficial, is it? I think you're better off keeping those players. Has anyone suggested that only players that were fit at lockdown should start? Introducing the injured ones sort of bothers him a little bit. That's Martin.
Well, I can understand that. It does taint it.
But how do you prove this? Tottenham can say, Kane was only out for another 2 weeks.
Well, maybe if they weren't, maybe you'd have to be really harsh if you were going to do that, and if they weren't registered for the last available first team squad, then they can't play for the rest of the season. But I do understand. I mean, because it does taint it, but I think there's an awful lot that taints it, as I said earlier.
David, if stories are true of 6 new cases, do you think restart will ever happen? I have my doubts, but to be fair, I don't even think about the game much these days. With the club offers recently. Football's lost its appeal now. Sort of discussed that a little bit. Do you think it'll come back next month? The games, the football.
I do, but I wouldn't put any money on it.
Someone asked that.
Well, maybe I'll get you to put money on it because you can win me some back. But I wouldn't put any huge amount of money on it. I wouldn't bet on it. I think it will. I think it will come back. But don't be surprised if it comes back and has to stop again.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. Bundesliga, just so you know, in Bundesliga, they agreed this prior to starting this weekend. If the Bundesliga has to stop again, it goes by the league before they restarted. So all the results from this weekend come in, the one that's passing that gets scrapped, and they go back to whatever match day it was, and they take that league. I think the Premier League need to agree something like that as well, so that we don't have this situation. But the only problem is, it gets a little bit murky, and I don't want to. We just praise Watford. I don't want to almost call it. It could be any team. It could be West Ham actually. If that was agreed, and West Ham find themselves in the bottom 3 with 2 games to go, it would almost benefit West Ham to have the season abandoned. And that's when it gets a little bit iffy for me. It's like underhand tactics might start coming in for whatever reason. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Two more questions, I think. Ben Davies, if you could go back in time and put big money on one sporting event except Leicester to win the title in 2016, what would it be?
James Buster Douglas would do me.
You what?
Do I get to James Buster Douglas? He beat Mike Tyson, and Tyson looked to be invincible. Do I get to come back in time, or do I have to start my life from back then? Does a time machine go both ways?
Unsure.
Is what I want to know.
I'm unsure, but
because I mean,
I don't know.
as I'd just be an old bloke in the 90s, the end of the 90s, then, wouldn't I? So, or whenever it was. When was it? I don't know. I think it was the 90s. You're old, you don't know what decade something was.
It's quite. But I'll tell you what mine is. Mine's a really weird one. It's actually from earlier this season. When West Ham signed Jared Bowen, someone said Hull are 33-1 to get relegated. And they were lurking in mid-table in Championship at this point, but they weren't in great form. And Bowen hadn't played a game, and there was someone else. Gosicki went to West Brom. So basically, they sold their two best players and their only attacking players, essentially. Someone said to me in the Gamblers group chat, 33-1 for Hull. It's not the worst 33-1 in the world. Since then, they've lost every game. They are sinking like a stone. They're just outside of relegation zone. Now, if the season gets abandoned, they are lucky. But every single week went past and I saw Hull get beat. I thought, because the price come down and down, and it's probably about 5-1 now if you're lucky. But to get a tip of a 33-1 and not listen to it from someone that I sort of know is good at betting, it's a bit of an own goal. So, not predicting something and not putting money on is one thing, but to get given a tip and not put money on it and watch it happen before your eyes is even worse, really.
Having said that, after your weekend's betting, you'll be able to think about it from the luxury of your yacht with all those winnings. From the Belarusian
actually, the Belarus
conference
is just fun this weekend, but we've got the Berlin Derby on Friday night. Union Berlin take on Hertha Berlin.
Who's that by? Who's that Bayern Munich and 1860 Munich in that one?
Well, that would be the Munich Derby. This is the Berlin Derby. Stop being funny. I've picked out 2 or 3 players I think is going to get booked, but the odds are a bit tight on them, so I'm waiting for Sky Bet, because normally Sky Bet's odds are lowest for card players, but last weekend they were a bit higher, so either Sky Bet are overpricing it or Bet365 got really tight. One of the two, not sure which, so I'm waiting for Sky Bet to price up a couple of players so I can have a little dip up. Oh, I'll give you a tip. Do you want a tip for Friday?
Oh yes, please.
25-1, so it's unlikely to happen, okay? It's an outsider. There's a good player for Hertha Berlin called Kuna. He's an attacking player, scored last week. Kuna, Cunha, 25-1 for him to get booked first in the match, because he's played 5 games for them. He's had 2 yellow cards, but at the weekend he never got booked, but he committed 5 fouls, which is a lot. So he's obviously a choppy little bugger. 25-1 for him to get the first card of the game. Now I quite like punts. I don't go for short odds on favourite. I like a punt. That's my punt for the Friday night if he starts.
I think I still have 10 pence on my Bet365 account. I might do it.
Last question, Alan Woodhouse. Woody. Alan.
Hello.
Your recent Upton Park video was great. Thank you. But it made me think, do you guys ever resent having to do Hamish chat work, boats, videos, etc. on match days as it gets in the way of you enjoying your day?
It's happened once or twice. It's the truth. In all honesty, Alan, I do tend to enjoy myself anyway. If you've ever seen any videos, which clearly you have, because you watch a lot of our stuff, and you've seen me on match day as well. I think you'll agree, Alan, that I do tend to enjoy myself on match days, videos or not.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in the first year or so, I'd say we didn't do that though. I think we were a bit more can't drink, got to do a video. Especially when you did your match day vlogs, because people see you drinking and stuff. But then now I think we've just decided, actually, we're just West Ham fans at the end of the day, so we're going to drink. And you know what? I think people enjoy it. I think people know a home review, there's a good chance they're going to get a piss Geo and a piss Gonzo. I think people like it because you can relate to it, because everybody drinks at football. Not everybody, a lot of people drink at football, so therefore you can relate to it. I was a bit pissed as well actually after the game. Yeah, that's all right.
I do try really hard though, Geo. I try really hard. I mean really hard not to sound pissed.
Yeah, me too, but I sound more pissed by trying.
I know you do. Yeah, you're very good. You have a switch, and you seem to. often watch you do your switch.
There's been one or two games.
He's good. He's good. Hold on, I'm thinking, sort yourself out, man. Sort yourself
There's
out.
been a couple of games I've sat there watching the game. I'm thinking like I need to take this in. I'm thinking I can barely see. And there's stuff I'll be happening at half time. I'll be standing there, be like, we're winning 1-0. I don't even know who scored. I'll be thinking, I need to absorb this information somehow. And then there's been one or two reviews we've done. There's been like 2-0, and I have like a block. I can't remember who scored the second. So I'm like, we made it 2-0. What do you make of that goal, Gonzo? I'm like, well, you can tell him who scored it. Remind me, because I cannot remember. So.
Yeah, but anyone that sits next to me will testify. Right before as I'm walking down, or the rest of it, particularly as they started serving beer, right, in the stadium at the end of the game. So Tony would often go down and be the first one down. So you'd get some more beers in. So we'd almost walk back with a beer. And just before you do that, I would say, okay, so what happened again? Who scored what? Oh, yeah, it's not like I didn't see it. But so you're saying it to me like I remember it. I've only just asked someone else to tell me 2 minutes before. It's a complete blank. The whole thing is a complete. You should watch something else.
One of
my
favourite ever comments. Actually, it was the last game of the season, and we were mortal. We were all smashed. It was an absolute disaster of a review. But someone commented saying this is the worst review ever, but it's also the best one yet, and that summed up. Though I'd like that to be how people think of Hammers Chat. That we can have fun. Because I know there was one game, I can't remember what one it was. It was a special occasion for us. I think we'd won. That was a special occasion. We won.
That was it.
But I remember what it was. You come up to me. We were on the boats, and everyone was a bit giddy. We'd been singing and dancing. You said, "Oh, we'll do a review." I remember saying to you, "Just put the camera away. We're not going to do a review today." And remember, we just binned the whole thing off. We had a damn good time. We did the review the next day. I think you'd done it on yourself in your cupboard, and you just said, "We just got pissed." But so I do think we now have the balance of being West Ham fans and being Hammers Chat people, whereas before I think we were maybe too one-sided. And there is sometimes you go the other way and you just forget about videos, but I do think we've got a good balance. Last thing, quiz tomorrow night. Got a special guest. Canning Town Lions.
Yes.
Canning Town Lion is the guest. It's Geo Gonzo.
Is that why you haven't asked me to do the drawings because of him?
Well, no, because normally I have one special round, don't I? One graphic heavy round. I've got that sorted this week, and it's a very special round actually. So,
well, I'm not happy if he's done me out of my drawing gig, is what I'm saying. Just because he might be a slightly better drawer than I am.
No one's drawing. No one's drawing anything. It's if this works, it's a bit risky, but if it works, I think it'll be a fantastic round in the quiz. Actually, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited actually if I can get this to work. Which, I mean, before tonight I was confident, but after the technical glitch earlier, I'm a bit wary now. So.
Oh no, yeah.
But I'm gonna try it.
I'm not gonna move my microphone before the quiz. I'm just gonna.
Yeah.
Just gonna go as soon as you finish.
As well. I'm just gonna tiptoe away. So will we start tiptoeing away?
Yeah. I think so, mate. We got a, barbecue sauce pizza to get back to or something.
No, I'm waiting to watch Manifest. Actually, I've nearly caught up. I've been binging that for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Manifest, so I'm waiting to watch it.
Oh, Ozark's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not finished, so don't. But good.
Yeah. Anyway, you enjoy this cup of tea with myself and Gonzo. Not pissed. Please drop a like on it. Helps the channel out apparently. Still yet to see it helping the channel. I'm joking. It does help the channel. At the very least, it makes me and Gonzo feel good for a couple of minutes. We'll think, oh yeah, got some good thumbs up on that. We're happy now. Congratulations to the Patreon winners. Big prizes coming your way.
Yes. Nice prizes.
And Gonzo's one big and puffy.
Just what you want in the summer is a goose feather and down body warmer.
Yeah. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Pop along tomorrow night for the quiz. And me and Gonzo, we will see you very shortly. Gonzo, say goodbye.
Goodbye.